Take me to the very beginning. How was swimming introduced to you, and how did it become a part of your life?
Yeah. So let's see. I was 8 years old, and well, back up a little more. I come from a pretty like a medium big size family. I have three sisters, and my oldest sister Caroline was the first one to start swimming. She's about 2 years older than me, a little less than 2 years older than me. But she was the first one to start swimming at our local YMCA. Actually, back up one more time. My grandparents had a cottage at a lake in northern Michigan. So it was really important to my dad that we all knew how to swim. So put us all in swim lessons and when we were like 5 years old, and I hated it. Could not stand it. Didn't like being in the water. Didn't like any part of it. But the guy who was giving us swim lessons was like, "Hey, you should get these kids involved with swimming." And my parents were kind of like, "Yeah, maybe one day." My older sister started swimming when I was 8 years old. And then my younger sister, who's a year younger than me, she started swimming. And my dad was just trying to get me. He's like, just try it. But I was playing basketball at the time, and I mean, I'm 6'4" now, but I definitely grew faster than all the other kids. So I was just the tallest. I was always the center. Like, it was fun playing basketball. It's like, no, I don't want to swim. At the time, I was actually saving up for a kayak because I wanted a kayak for the lake up north. I was 8 years old. I wanted a kayak. And my dad said, if you try it for 3 months, I had like $80 saved or something like that. It was like a $300 kayak. He was like, if you try it for 3 months, I'll pay for the rest of your kayak. You can have an early birthday present, whatever time of the year it was. And after 3 months, you can quit if you want to. But 3 months and you get your kayak. So tried it for 3 months, and I hit the water and just never looked back. I mean, just like everything was a race to me. It was probably the most competitive I've ever been in any sport. Because I mean, playing basketball, like I liked it, but like I wasn't competitive in it. But swimming, man, we were just like, even at 8 years old, I was just like, oh, that guy's going faster than me. Like, I'm gonna go faster than him. It was like every second was just like looking over and seeing who's beating you and like wanting to race them. Regardless of what point in the practice you were at. So that's really how it started. And then I remember my first meet that we had, I went from a no time in the 50 breast to getting my state cut. So it's just like one of those things where I was like, oh, maybe this is what I should be doing. And I think there was another pivotal point. I think it was when I was 9 years old. I was number one in the 50 breast in the national rankings. And at that point, I didn't really like, my parents called me over and they told me, and I was like, cool, like went back to playing or something like that. Cause I was 9 and didn't really understand it, that it was like putting me on such a path. But yeah, most of it was just like the love of competition that set me in that direction. It was never like, there wasn't a ton else pushing me, I'd say.